Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Check this out. I am so lucky. I've scored myself another Victa two-stroke powered go-kart, probably from the 60s or the 70s, similar but different to the one which we previously restored on the channel, that red one. You may have seen some videos on that. If you haven't, I'll put a playlist up here about somewhere so you can go back and check out those other videos which we previously did on the red Victa two-stroke go-kart. But today, I'm going to get into this one. I'll give you a bit of a fly around in a moment. As I said, it's different to the other one. There's obviously several different generations, but it does look quite well made, and I'm really excited to get stuck into this one. This one's blue, but I think I'm going to paint it grey. So we might call this one the grey Victa two-stroke go-kart. I don't know, there'll probably be a couple of series of videos. We'll strip it down today, start pulling it apart, and just see what we've really got. But as I said, I'll give you a fly around so you can check it out, and then we'll get stuck into the strip down, the pressure cleaning. Got a mate with a sandblaster, so we might even do that as well before we start building it back up again. So let's get into it. So folks, making pretty good progress here. As you saw in the time lapse, we've degreased it, pressure washed it. Now we've got the engine off and managed to get it off of this little mounting bracket. Had to get the little clutch off. I could feel when I'm pushing it around that this clutch is binding up, similar to the red one. So we'll do a service on this clutch. I did notice that the clutch adapter to the Victa motor has come out with the clutch. So somehow we're gonna have to press that out, but we'll get to that. We'll sort it out. I'm not really concerned, and you know, if you watch any of my videos, you know that I'm going to find a Victa two-stroke to get running if I can't get this one running on this engine. But it's really all starting to come apart really nicely. I think what I'll do next is I'll probably just get the back wheels off and see if I can get this brake drum apart, because there's just absolutely no brakes at all. And you know, whilst we don't need brakes, it would be kind of nice to see if we could get everything operational again. So let's get back into that. Let's see if we can get this back axle apart, and I'll put you back on time lapse. Okay, so that was a real wrestle to get those wheels off. As you saw in the time lapse, I actually didn't know how to get those wheels off to start with, and I actually took all these nuts off to try to split the rim. Eventually I decided that the shaft must look something like this. I thought it was binding up on something bigger, and I think the truth is it's probably always been a tight fit, plus there's all this extra corrosion on the axle, and you saw me clean it up after I actually got off the wheels with that big block splitter on both sides. And then what I've actually done is I grabbed the grinder and I just ground down the end of the shafts so it actually will slide on easily now in the future. It's not going to affect the performance at all, and I've just polished it up. What I will do is just getting those wheels off has scuffed the threads on the axle, so I'll get a dye and I'll clean the threads up on the axle, but really happy with getting those wheels off. To move it around, I will just put the wheels back on temporarily, but we've managed to get this brake hub mechanism off as well. Now, looking at the brake pads, I think there's heaps of pad, and I suspect the brakes have never actually worked properly on this go-kart, and it's actually the way that the whole thing is mounted up, because I think the truth is it should have been set up so that this bracket had the drum rotated more, and then it was actually getting a larger pull on that mechanism. But I'm thinking, given that it's got the brackets welded up, perhaps what we'll try to do is build an intermediate linkage to actually be able to pull that lever all the way up like that when it's in, and get the brakes applying rather than trying to modify this setup. The alternative is to actually try to turn how that little lever is on and get it so it's rotated back further to start with. That might be the way. But for now, what I'm going to do is we'll get the front wheels off so that we can actually get this sandblasted and ready for paint. Okay, so I just popped off the nut which holds the little lever for the brakes on the brake drum, and what is really cool is it's actually got like a spider cutout, and so this is actually adjustable. So I think I can just rotate that back a fraction, which if I can get it to pop into a different spot like that, I can then get more leverage on the brakes and extend those shoes out. So I might, given I've moved that a fair bit, let's get this nut back on. And what I can probably do is like a temporary fit up just to see if the brakes are then going to work with it in that sort of adjustment. So if I just get this back on, just temporarily, like this, right, we can get everything. See, the problem now is that that's not long enough. So it's all the way off there, so you can quite clearly see that we just need, and the other thing we could do is lengthen this, and then it's actually pulling horizontal. So there's a couple of different options that we've got, but let's just, actually, what I could do, because we know, yeah, it's still, let's just get that off. All right, so get this off, and let's see if we can find another position which maybe it will slot into. That could be harder than it looks. So just looking at this closer, with the brake's fully off now, and we press the brake pedal, you can see it extends away. This previously, just hold that there because it's not bolted in, but this previously had the lever facing in this direction. I really like where we've got the lever now, and I think what I should do is actually, the simplest way is to get a little turnbuckle, and then we can bend this down, and I'll put a turnbuckle in here, and then I can actually, with it all connected up, I can actually adjust the brakes up to just the point, because if we pull that now, we can feel that's actually locking up. So if I put a little turnbuckle, shorten this in, I'll be able to adjust the brakes right up to the point, and then we'll actually have good brakes back on this go-kart. So I'm actually going to leave the lever on that angle because I think that's a really good spot. Before, with it around here, it's trying to pull, and to actually apply the brakes, the lever had to come up. So that's why I suspect the brakes actually never ever worked on that go-kart. So we'll get that addressed. For now, I think it's off to sandblast for this go-kart frame. So folks, that was my first time ever using a sandblaster setup, and I learned a lot through the process. With the setup that I was using, we actually didn't have a big enough compressor. The compressor would go to a high enough pressure, but it just couldn't keep up the sheer volume, so the pressure was dropping. So I had to start and stop a lot, and there were a few little tricks which I learned along the way. But just check this out, we do have a reasonable job ready to paint this go-kart now, and I am going to do it in a hammer tone grey. But before we get into that, one of the things I noticed when I took the rear wheels off, and I did have to get into a little bit with the hammer, the threads were a little bit burred, and I think that's from putting these wheels on that don't actually have a lot of clearance. So I've cleaned up the thread on the axle on this side, but I haven't done the side that's got the sprocket, and I've actually got new nuts. They're a 5/8 UNF. So let's clean the thread up on the axle. I'll just do that with a die, show you how you do that, and show you how we can get it threading nicely on. Then I've also bought a little shackle. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do there with the brakes to get those all hooked up, and then we'll get into paint. So you can see here one of the old nuts. I'm not sure if you can actually see on camera, but the threads on both the nuts and the axle were pretty rough. The threads fortunately on the nuts were worse, and I was able to buy new nuts, 5/8 UNF. But if we just try to thread on even the new nut, you can really see, you know, you're really not getting, you can get a couple of turns onto that, but you really don't get much. So we've got our 5/8 UNF die, and the trick is just to get it started straight. So just take it pretty easy, because you want this to cut in onto those threads nicely. Looks like we just got it there. Nah, just fell off. Might try the other side. See if we can get that just to catch on. Keep it absolutely perpendicular to the axle. Doesn't quite look right there. Just give that another go. There we go. I reckon that now has just got that. It's going on completely square, and it is taking a little bit of force, but it's all looking good to me. I just back that off a fraction, and look at those threads. Yep, they're looking good. So I'll just keep that in, and you can see how much this is actually cleaning up those threads. I'll just bring you in really close so you can see. Just backing it off occasionally just to let that little bit of swarf come out. You can see how that's coming out. And we'll just keep cleaning up these threads just like this. You can see that's just coming in there nicely, biting in. The whole thing's nice and perpendicular, just backwards and forwards, just keeping on going, just gently working our way all the way in, and just doing a great job, like I say, at cleaning up these threads. So that in the future, if we've got to take the wheels off, puncture new tubes and tyres, whatever, we can easily ourselves get it off. So we're fixing it for ourselves, but also, you know, anyone else that comes behind us one day in the future, you know, they too are going to be able to get into this and work on it with a lot of ease now, rather than having to battle like we've had to do. So just give that a clean out, and let's just see now with our nut, you can see that just spins on all the way just perfectly now. Look at that. So with that thread sorted, and you can see how well that's spinning off and on now, I just want to show you my thoughts with the brakes. Yep, that will slide over that nut on that axle. So with the issue I had before, this little lever, as you know from the video, was all the way forward. So we've moved that back, so now we're actually going to get a good horizontal pull on that lever. However, now it's not long enough, so I've gone and got this turn buckle, which has got an eye on each end instead of a hook on one end. And my thought is that I can simply wind this out, you know, quite a way really, and then we'll actually be able to adjust it in. So come out with the setup, which is kind of really nice. So I'll just wind this out now. Something like, I don't know, halfway, I suppose. Maybe even a little bit further. So we can then just wind that in and set the brakes up correctly. So I just wind this out on this side so it's roughly even. You know, we're just doing this visually. So we'll be able to then set that up in there. Be able to shorten the length of this main rod, bend that around. So up there is where it connects. Then we'll be able to wind it in so that bring the brakes up perfectly to actually then have brakes that will work on this go-kart. That's the attempt. So folks, I'm really thrilled with how well this hammer tone metallic grey paint has turned out on the go-kart frame, and I've also taken the opportunity to paint the wheels and a few other bits and pieces, which I'll show you as well. Had to disassemble the wheels and mask the other wheels up, but I've done a pretty good job. So that's going to be the end of part one of this Victa 2-stroke go-kart project. I'm going to call this, I think, the Silver Ghost, the Victa 2-stroke Silver Ghost go-kart, because I just think it looks fantastic. And if you have liked the video, give us a like and drop us a comment down below. It's truly appreciated. But besides little restoration projects like this, we do a bunch of DIY maintenance and repairs on the channel. And on the channel, we've got the Mercedes ML Class, the Audi A3, the Mazda 3, we've got an early Ford Falcon, a little Holden Brina. So there really is something in there for everybody on the channel. And if you're interested in any of that content, do subscribe to the channel. But until next time, folks, have a good evening.